This is the second segment of three pieces of knowledge I feel we should all know as we leave our shelter in place and come together with compassion. In the first segment, we talked about the three parts of the brain and how at times we have reactions to emotions, memories, or threats of danger. However, we also know that at times we can respond from the thinking part of the brain. We also talked about how the emotional or survival reactions often make it very difficult to respond thoughtfully. This knowledge of the connection between our brains, our thoughts, and our behaviors gives us a new awareness. Having awareness gives the ability to now learn about adjustment and calm our body reactions, thus allowing us to respond from that thinking part of our brain. The first strategy is to try to discover what caused your emotional or survival reactions. If you can, then try to limit your exposure. For example, currently the news is flooded with pictures and stories of illness and panic and arguments. This can trigger reactions of big emotions or may create a fight, flight, freeze reaction. If you are aware of your body and notice these reactions, then adjust what you're doing to limit what is triggering the reactions. But sometimes we have no idea why our body's reacting. That's okay. Just being aware of your brain and body connections will let you know it's time to adjust in other ways to change what's going on inside. There are many ways to calm or slow your body's reactions. It's done through activities called self-care and regulation. We're going to explore a few concepts and activities briefly. However, I added multiple resources below for many ideas you can try, or you can just Google self-care or emotional regulation skills and you will find thousands of ideas. When emotions or fear increases, our body usually reacts with a change in heart rate and a change in our breathing because we're getting ready for fight, flight, or freeze. Think about when you feel a threat. Do you breathe out fast in a scream or take air in quickly and hold your breath? Well, many regulation skills that move us from reacting to responding have something to do with bringing our attention to and changing our breathing or movement, and they can be done without anyone else seeing what you're doing. Our breath is our life force. When we become aware of it and control it, we begin to control the emotional or fear reactions too. If you practice any breathing activity when you're calm, it'll make it more helpful when you're stressed. Belly breathing means we take a slow, full breath of air in and let our belly expand as we breathe in. As we breathe out, we allow and notice our belly to shrink back towards the spine. Box breathing means we breathe in for the count of 5, hold for 5, release for 5, and pause for 5 before we begin again. 4-7-8 breathing really slows reactions. It focuses on exhaling longer than we inhale. When we inhale, our heart rate increases slightly, and when we exhale, it decreases slightly. So you breathe in for the count of 4, hold for 7, and exhale slowly for 8. Singing and humming automatically makes us control our breathing. Research shows that the sound we make when we hum, especially a long, low hum, calms nerves that slow the body's reactions. Movement can regulate us either to have more energy or we can use it to focus and help decrease the impact of emotional or fear reactions. Tense and release is a good movement activity. Focus on one part of your body, let's say our thighs, and tense for a few seconds, and then relax and feel the difference. Repeat this with several muscle groups. If you notice where in your body you hold stress or worry, use this method with those muscles. Practice just sitting still and notice how different body parts have different sensations. How do your toes feel right now? How about your legs on the chair? Noticing movement through an exercise like yoga, Tai Chi, or martial arts has a profound positive impact on the effects anxiety and stress have in our bodies. Use rhythmical movement to focus energy away from emotions or fear. Whether it's drumming, rocking, pacing, dancing, or running, the rhythm and movements calms our nervous system. What is most important is that we remember we are all unique. We need to try a lot of ideas and see what works best for us. Your family member may choose to sit silently to feel calm, but you may need to go for a run. The important point is to find out what works best for your body. If we want these activities to work well during a crisis or high stress, we should routinely practice them while we're calm. Self-care means that you add some stress-relieving activities into every day. Self-care can include the regulation we just talked about, and it can also refer to other activities that help you rejuvenate so you can be better prepared for the next stressor that comes along. Self-care that requires very short moments of time or moments of mindfulness to reconnect with your body. I've put some resources below. Or repeating a positive mantra to yourself throughout the day. Self-care is also any activity you enjoy focusing on. It can be reading, being creative, or being artistic. Relaxing or exercising outside in nature has a rejuvenating effect. Then there is one of the most powerful ways to give yourself self-care. Be with other people. Talk, laugh, or just sit with them. Connection with other people is vital to our well-being. That's why during this pandemic, we've seen such great acts of compassion and creativity to be connected while we're supposed to be away from others. Our brains and bodies are wired for survival, and human connection is a huge part of survival and feeling safe. Let's wrap this up. Stress is caused by an unpredictable and uncontrollable environment. Awareness of our brain and body connections help us begin to know and predict how we may react. Adjustment using regulation and self-care allows each of us to have more control over these reactions. If we can predict and we can have some control within our body, we feel less stress. We can move out of our survival brain or emotional midbrain and into our thinking brain. Now we can respond and share our calm with people as we come together with compassion. Thank you for listening and helping make our world a better place. Check out the resources below to learn more about regulation and self-care. And remember, our positive interactions can have a ripple effect on the world. This is Cheryl Step from creatingresilience.org.